This is Isaiah. I'm the operations leader here at Traction Tools. In this video, I want to take you through quickly how to run an effective meeting inside of Traction Tools. So first off, as you can see here, we have quite a few teams set up inside of this account. If you would like to create a departmental leadership team same page meeting, you can do that in the Create New Meeting button. This button up here is available for admins and supervisors. When you click on New Level 10 Meeting or New Same Page Meeting, you'll enter into the Manage section of that meeting, and you'll be able to set up all of the agenda items that'll make for a successful meeting. The first thing is to add the attendees of that meeting who will be attending on a weekly basis. We're also going to want to set up our scorecard. So your scorecard are your key leading indicators. What are the metrics or the things that you can track that really drive your business? That if you can measure these things on a weekly basis, they would show you if you're on or off track as a company. All of your metrics can be listed out here. They can be different per industry, obviously. In order to create a new measurable, we'll click down here. You'll add the name or title of what you're tracking, who's accountable for achieving that or the goal. We can set whether it's units, dollars, percentage in this field here. And then we would also set the weekly goal, whether it's $20, $50, $150,000, etc. Whatever the goal is, we can set it there. We can also add an average, a cumulative, or a formula to this measurable. After we've set up our scorecard metrics that we're going to be tracking, we can jump in and add our rocks. By clicking the plus sign here, you can add all of your 90-day priorities and goals. This will set you up to be running a successful Level 10 meeting by setting up your key scorecard metrics and your key priorities of the things you want to accomplish this quarter. Then, before we actually jump into the meeting, let's go into our workspace really quick here. This is going to set us up so throughout the week, as we are preparing for working on the business, working in the business, the best practice here would be to update our scorecard metrics before actually entering into the meeting. You can simply type right in here, and this measurable will update for you and be available during your meeting when you meet with your team. We also have the ability to work on our rocks here. You can click on your rocks, add milestones, map out your rock in order to get it complete with all the key steps by the end of the quarter. The other thing that you can be doing is, in order to set yourself up for a successful meeting, is to be creating issues. So throughout the week, as you come up with great ideas, have obstacles, barriers, blockers, please be creating those as new issues or topics or discussion points in order to add to your Level 10 meeting agenda. You can do that by simply clicking on the push pin up here. Another great thing to be preparing for is people headlines. Add people headlines. They can be employee related, client related. Normally they're 80% positive. They can also be negative. If you have team building activities, people stayed late at the warehouse till midnight to get a shipment off to fulfill the client's order, etc. Please add those as people headlines. You can upload pictures here as well. When we do team building activities, we went and did the go-karts last week. I'll take a selfie with the team and upload that picture in here. That way everybody can see the fun and the excitement of that team building activity. So once we've got all of that set, we've got our scorecard measurable set, we have our rocks in the software, we've been building out our issues list, we have also added people headlines. Now we're ready to actually run an effective Level 10 meeting inside of the software. We're going to simply click on Start Meeting as a leader here. This is going to take us to our agenda. If you want to get a great tutorial, click on this little button here. This will take you to one of Gino Wickman's videos, and he'll explain about how to run an effective meeting, a Level 10 meeting. So we're going to click on Start Meeting as leader here. This will engage our timers and keep us on track for getting everything we want out of this meeting during the time that we have allotted for it. Starting out on the segue, this is where I would encourage you to share personal, professional good news. Try to go deep with your team. One of the things that we cultivate here at Traction Tools is open, honest communication and relationships. We go pretty deep in our segue here, and it's amazing what you learn about people if you can be vulnerable with each other for a little bit. This segue is one of my favorite components of our Level 10 meeting. After we finish sharing our segue, you'll jump into your scorecard. Again, these are all your key leading indicators. If we've got any metrics here that are off track, showing up in the red like this, this is a good indicator of, there's something wrong. We should do something about this. Maybe there's some action we can take. What I want to encourage you to, or try to help you with here, is please do not spend, 20 minutes talking about initial sales meetings while you're on the scorecard section here in your level 10 meeting. The whole idea of this is for us to be able to identify any issues. So it's really clear if we look at this scorecard, we've got problems in our billing department and we've got problems in sales and marketing. Well, let's figure this out. Let's simply click the push pin here. It's going to create a context-aware issue for us. All we have to do is click OK. We'll do the same thing with the billing errors. Click on the push pin, create a context-aware issue. So what we're doing here is we're literally just building our issues list. These are our key leading indicators, our KPIs also, that are showing us whether we're on or off track as a business. And then if we jump ahead here quick, we'll see we've added those two issues or measurables as issues to our IDS list so we can discuss them when we get to that portion of the meeting. After we finish with our scorecard, we're going to click on our ROC review. Again, our ROCs are our highest priorities. These are our goals that we've set out to accomplish. Again, what I want to encourage everyone to do here is if your ROC is off track, this is not a blame game. It's not a guilt trip. This is an opportunity for you to meet together with your team, the smartest people in your organization that are working together to help you move this ROC forward in order to get it done or complete by the end of the quarter. So what we want to do here is if we don't see a clear plan or a clear path of moving this ROC forward each week, or there's obstacles or barriers or something is holding it back from moving forward, let's create an issue out of it. Simply click the push pin here. Again, that'll create a context-aware issue for us. All we have to do is click OK, and that's going to add that to our IDS list. So as we're going through our scorecard, we're going through our ROCs, we're going through our people headlines, we are adding issues to our IDS list. Please refrain from diving into deep conversation during these other portions of the meeting, as that'll take away from your IDS time. Let's jump into our people headlines next here. This is where we've got all of our people headlines, our team building activities. We've got other employee or client related headlines. We've got the ability to send these to other meetings. And then really, if Jenny had her baby, oh my goodness, let's figure out what we're going to do when she goes on maternity leave. Hopefully we've already figured that out, right? But if we need to, let's create an issue out of this. Add it to your issues list. We're just building our issues list throughout this meeting. After the people headlines, we'll jump into our to-do list. Hopefully most of these are done and checked off as people are getting them complete throughout the end of the quarter. The thing to mention here about your to-dos is the goal is to get 90% of these done each week. We are committing as a team that we're going to get these tasks done by the time we meet next week. I am committing to you that these to-dos are coming out of our issue solving. They're some of our highest priority things that we should be accomplishing each week. I'm committing to you that I'm going to get mine done because you're depending upon me to get my to-do done. And then as we're going through our to-dos here, if there are any additional tasks or next steps, or it's not fully complete with the solve of this to-do, then again, let's create an issue out of it. That way we can move it forward to the next step, or we can finish what we started. After we are done with our to-do list and reviewing that, we'll click on our IDS section here. This is where we're going to identify, discuss, and solve our issues. The first step here is to prioritize these. So what we like to do here in Traction Tools, we like to sort them by owner. That way we can all see what are the issues that we have. We do a quick cleanup here as well. If any of the issues are no longer pertinent or valid, we'll check them off before we get started. And then we can prioritize these. We'll simply click on the left-hand side here, grab the most important issues. It's going to auto-sort them for us, and then we'll begin to rock and roll. We've got a section here where we can capture notes, comments, we can put links in here, any steps, 1, 2, 3, etc. All of that can be listed out here. When we've come to the decision on what we've decided upon, then we're going to create a to-do out of this to execute. Probably about 90 to 95% of the time, we should be creating to-dos through our issue solving. But we're going to do that thing that solves this issue. When we create that context-aware to-do, it grabs all of the notes that we had while we were IDSing in that note section. I'm going to click OK, add that to our to-do list, check this off as complete, then we'll move on to the next one. This one was from our scorecard. We had 10 billing errors. Obviously we don't want to have any. So, all right, what's the deal? Whose issue is this? What's the issue? What's the outcome that we're looking for, right? And we're going to define what exactly is the issue. Try to dive deep and figure out what the root issue is. Is it somebody's not following the process? Is it actual systems issue, a system error, etc.? Try to dive deep and figure out what the root issue is so that you can solve these in a permanent, inspiring way. Again, after we figured out what we're going to do, we'll click the to-do box here, down here, or up at the top here, either one, and then we'll type in execute on the decision. We're going to just simply type in what the to-do is that we're going to take in order to move that forward. I'm going to check it off as complete. Next generation technology, you know what? Let's have our IT department solve that. You can send any issues over to the pertinent departments by simply clicking that over arrow, selecting that department. We'll shoot that over to support, etc. And then we'll grab our next 3 issues here, our highest priorities. The other option that we have with our issues here is to move them to the VTO. We have a long-term issues list, a parking lot list on our VTO. If you click this button, that'll shoot that issue over there. You won't have to worry about it or think about it, but it's on a safe spot where you won't forget about it. You'll have that reminder for your next quarterly session. When we're done IDSing, we've either solved all of our issues. Wouldn't that be nice, right? If we could solve all of our issues most of the time. We've got a huge list here, but if you have solved all your issues, kudos to you. We can move on to conclude this meeting, and we'll have a recap of our to-dos. Everybody will just clearly go through and make sure that we understand what we're going to be doing, and we're committing to that as a team. If there's any cascading messages, we can capture those through a new to-do. Everybody will rate the meeting, and then we'll conclude the meeting. So all of the follow-up, there's an email summary that's sent out that'll give you a great recap of what we've solved in this meeting, the to-dos that came out of that, and then in the practical aspect of working on the tasks, all of your to-dos will be listed here now in your to-do box assigned to you, and they'll be in the corresponding section here for the meeting that they came out of. So thank you so much for watching this video on how to run effective meetings inside of Traction Tools. I hope you have a great rest of the day. Please feel free to subscribe to our YouTube channel to get other updates and teachings and trainings on our software.